in love with you and how you beautifully combine science and art as a fashion designer, visual artist, and doctor. We are also in love with your awe-inspiring personality, which reflects in your advocacy for humanity with a special focus on vulnerable women. Please share some highlights of how you began your creative journey as a visual artist and fashion designer.
Great. I mean, it started from a long age. I mean, like when I was a child, I used to love a lot drawing and, designing my own home, design my school outfits. I always used to do that when I was in Saudi Arabia. I grew up in Jeddah. And my mom, luckily, was a designer as well. She used to take us to the market to know the textile differences and to know the colors and different and how to match them. So I got it from my mom. My mom was really helping in that process of discovering the artist in me. And then even when I used to do the designs to school, the next day it will become a trend. Girls will try to mimic it, and I was enjoying this process of designing my own clothes when I was in school. And then moved to Sudan. I used to work with the UN, Sudan Independent Film Festival. I used to come on the stage. I was the MC, so I used to dress myself, design my own clothes, colorful designs, something more related to our Nubian culture. I used to read a lot about Nubian women, and I was very impressed by the strength that they would portray in their old photos, not old photos, like the small the small drawings of how the woman looked like 2000 more than 2000 years ago. So I was impressed, and I was trying to get to show it in the dress, how it could be looking powerful without having to say a word. So fashion was helping me a lot in that sense. And then I decided 2016, end of 2016, I decided to, after I graduated from medicine, I tried to do my fashion business. And I launched my brand, and I was doing like outspoken pieces for my friends. And this brand was going very well to the degree that I did have a show in Nairobi 2017, and 2018 I had another show in UNESCO Paris. And it was going very well, I think, at that time, until I got engaged in a little bit politically and diplomatically. So I'm in fashion, but not so much in fashion right now. I'm not having my brand in terms of having the brand, but I'm working with the fashion brands to economically empower women. I'm working with Fashion Impact Hub. I'm working with Caring Foundation to have the fashion as a women empowerment aspect. So I'm still in the fashion in that sense, but now not me producing more fashion. Also, part of me getting older and being more conscious that we don't need to produce more, right? I repeat my clothes, I repeat my stuff without feeling ashamed of it. Because that's part of you being conscious that you don't want to harm the you don't want to produce CO2, you don't want to harm the environment, or you're already facing a lot. So yeah, I'm working more in that sense, in more of a humanitarian aspect or like frame. But yeah, fashion is still in me, and I appreciate it. It's the reason why I get to be who I am today. The open doors, I would say. Even art opened a lot of doors for me. Yeah.
So beautiful and inspiring. Wow. Okay, so I would love to go on and on, but let me make it brief. Please share the inspiration behind your fashion brand, Mayada Adil.
Okay.
And I think you indirectly mentioned it, right? You've indirectly answered that. Yeah, but just share.
I was in love with the strength of the Nubian queens called Kandaka. Amani Shakhitu, Amani Rensis. They're like the queens of Sudanese ancient civilization, Kush, Kingdom of Kush. And my designs, or when I launched the brand, was mostly to take inspiration from those queen, and it was a political statement at that time, because women at Sudan, they've been followed by the morality police, just like Iran. That's exactly what happened in Iran. It was happening in Sudan. So I used to have my shows outside, and I would say, this is dedicated for Sudanese women in a remembrance of their ancestors, the Nubian queen. So I used the fashion as a political tool to find my way to say, no, we're not accepting that, without directly facing the regime. Otherwise I will be I was going to be in troubles a lot. Also, my family was going to be in trouble. So yeah, I wanted to do that, and I have done it. And also my brand was selling very well in Sudan, and they liked the story, and the story was inspiring for other girls. To the degree I met the other girls, they said that they were inspired to the degree that they had their own fashion brands inspired by. Yeah, at that time I was making a movement. I was trying to make a movement to get out of the normal jalabiya or something like abaya, the women's wear, typical conservative dresses that doesn't represent our African identity, that doesn't represent who we are. So yeah, I wanted to break through that. Yeah. So my brand was my way to say what I wanted to say through the clothes, through the dress. Very powerful designs with a lot of triangles, because triangles explain that triangles shows the powerness of the woman. Yeah.
Yes. That's so beautiful. And I really love the way you combine your art with passion, with purpose. Like it's not just about the passion, but there's a meaning and there's a purpose and there's a cause behind it. Okay, what does art mean to you? In your own way,
But
what does art mean to you?
well, fashion. Even if people try to art from fashion, I think art and fashion, it's equally the same. Art, it was an amazing healer for me. Hello, are we recording?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes. Um, so art and fashion, both of them, were a great tool to heal um, Sudanese women, and for me as well. And also art. Wait, someone is filming. I cannot believe Paris. Anyway, so yeah, art it was the way or the tool also to promote the Sudanese Revolution 2019 through the artists around the globe, around the diaspora. We're doing a lot of artistic work, and I also did something with that. I did a fashion thing, a video. I'm gonna send it to you if you have the Instagram. I did it, and it went viral. It was much easier to spread awareness about the Sudanese revolution that was led by women through art. So art is just a very powerful tool to change, to bring a democratic change, and to promote the peacefulness, and to promote a revolution. Um, so yeah, art means a lot. It's just not a beautiful painting or a cloth or a poetry, or it moves, it changes, it revolts the world. Yeah, I would say.
Very
Yeah.
true. I totally agree with you. Please, if you're not able to hear me at any point because it's raining heavily where I am, just let
Okay.
me know, okay? All right.
Okay.
Um, we are grateful to have you on board on this special edition with the theme Rise in celebration of inspiring women in the creative industry, and also to mark the 2023 International Women's Day. We understand
Pleasure.
how certain stereotypes, cultures, and sentiments have stood as subtle roadblocks for women to thrive boundlessly. Have you ever encountered any form of gender-based discrimination? Any quick tips for women who may have been victims of severe circumstances?
I mean, being a woman is not a easy job. um it's just I think since childhood. I mean, I grew up in a very conservative African Arabic household when men always preferred over women. So of course, I faced discrimination since early age, I would say, and then moving to Sudan, I faced it even clearer when I was studying medicine and everything around men rule and women not, just stay behind. I even remember when I was working as a doctor in one of the hospital, a co-patient come to me and said, you know what, you should be married to his brother. He was a co-patient. His brother, he was the patient. You should be married and stay home. I should be married to his brother that he's patient and stay home. And I was like, I'm your doctor, don't talk to me like that. But you face that every single day. Every single day. Living in Paris is not an easy experience. It's all about discrimination, hidden discrimination of gender priorities. Um, how we deal with that, it's the question of our strength and what a will that we have to divert from that. And I always go back to my women's tribe. I always say that I have a woman tribe, a woman supporter, that I always go back to them. My sister, one of my good friends, her name's Sulafa, so I go back to them and we discuss, and then we dismantle the situation, and it's like, this is men trying to dominate and how we deal with it. So I believe for any other woman should have a woman supporter, not to compete with her, just to be there, encourage her, and have this talk, from heart to heart as we're having right now. And yeah, make the tribe around you belong to women group that share the same problems, same sentiments, and that's how you get in strength. That's how you get encouraged. And also, you have to have your own will to fight against and say no. You have to say no. I don't accept it. I don't. This is not what I deserve. That's also what kept me. Plus, I'm a human right defender, so I always do that. Like, no, this is not for me. I deserve better. I even remember that I spoke to the Mr. President in a way that you said women should not be a second citizen of your world in your speech. You should take care of the real vulnerable women in your country. So hold them accountable of what they say. Always try to hold the men accountable of their discrimination. The more you become clearer in your fight, the more the more women can follow you, the more you will influence others, and the more you will make that and imbalances of the gender equalities become less shorter. Yeah, we need to support ourselves, and then we ask for men to support us. That's what I was thinking. I said a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, that was so insightful. Thank you so much for sharing your truth. Okay, please, you no doubt live a beautiful life that many creatives out there admire, and it's like a dream life to many other creatives, traveling around the world and living your passion and art. Please share any quick tips for creatives battling with self-doubt, for those battling with self-doubt.
Oh, self-doubt. Tell me about it. Imposter syndrome. Tell me about it. I mean, also part of the journey of being an artist, despite you travel the world or not, it's not, this is the thing. It's part of it that you go through the self-doubt, that actually enduring that pain so you can come up with something more creative and give something, like creating something not even there. So I think it's important we go through the self-doubt until we get ourselves more confident. And I always believe that fake it to make it. I'm full of imposter syndrome and self-doubt, no matter what you see. But I have this thing, like, the more you fake the strength, the more you fake the confidence, you own it. So yeah, you claim it, you manifest it, it happens. And for the other girls of facing self-doubt, okay, accept it. I think the most important thing that we accept our weaknesses, accept our vulnerabilities, and then we take it from there and try to strengthen those weaknesses, or even make our weaknesses our strength by working hard to find solutions by taking this journey. It helps you to find the confident we women deserve, as all women we deserve. Yeah,
Yeah, I really love the part where you said making our weaknesses our strengths, because
absolutely.
everyone has their weakness and strength. But when you focus on your weakness, yeah, so making your weakness your strength is the way forward rather than dwelling in the weakness, right? Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. Okay, kindly share the inspiration behind your project, The Peaceful Revolution, exploring the color white.
Wow, that's a very dear question to my heart, actually. The project, we've been commissioned by Design in Daba and Google Art and Culture to do this project to speak about our country. So I've been thinking a lot, and I was thinking Sudan. It's a diverse group and tribes of people, and how we can just reflect it in one color. It didn't make sense to me. So I have tried to search in the theory of colors, and white, it was the reflection of all colors. That's why I chose white. It's not because of the white men or the white women or something like that. It has nothing to do with the race. It has something to do with the reflection of the genuine and the pure heart of Sudanese people, and also the diversity. So white is everywhere. You see it everywhere in Sudan. People wear jalabiya and tobe, and it was really a revolutionary color, because there was a lot of marches, a lot of manifestations where women were dressing white, all of them, white tobe. We say our traditional wear called tobe. So women were dressed that in that sense to show that the resilience, because the revolution started by women, yeah. 2018 on the 18th of December in Atbara. Started by women. They were doing yellow linen, or like zaghruta. That's they call it. So it was very inspiring to focus on that sense. And even in the video, you'll see that I was shedding light a lot on those women, that they were revolting in different states in Sudan. Um, and yeah, and it's a very peaceful color. That's why I chose it for Sudan. And I made the video in a revolutionary way in order to document the beauty of our revolution, how it was inspiring for the world. So you keep seeing that I go back to talk about revolution, because it was the point that changed our life, and it changed my life for sure forever. So yeah, that's why the project came from that place, from Sudan to Sudan, and for Sudanese people, and to keep it there as an archive for years to
Yeah.
come.
Definitely, it's a project that will stay evergreen, and it's not just a beautiful project, but also a powerful one. So thank you so much for being the
Thank you.
inspiration behind that. Yeah. So you continue to thrive as a bold and beautiful voice in the creative industry and beyond, maximizing all your platforms for social good. What would you consider most fulfilling about your journey as a young leader appointed by the United Nations envoy?
What could be more fulfilling? It could be when I receive a message of a young girl. Honestly, I received it a week ago, and she said, "You're a role model, and I would like to be like you." And I said, "No, I wish you be better than me." Those kind of messages, and from my colleagues and people in Sudan, when you see this impact, and you see how people feel, they feel somehow linked to me or connected to what we do in the United Nations, and how we can amplify the voices of the youth. This is the most fulfilling thing to me. I'm a people's person. I always get closer. I feel myself connected to myself the more I come connected to the people. So when I receive this kind of messages, I feel like this is this is this is it. This is the impact I'm looking for. I'm mentoring other girls. I'm mentoring other girls from Saudi Arabia, from Kenya, from one in UK. So I like that. I feel like I feel it. I feel it. I feel this is my messages come cross and clear. Yeah. And also when I see that um, the work has been recognized, the work we're doing in the human rights and humanitarian fields, been recognized, and as Sudanese representation, it's also very fulfilling because we don't want Sudan to be out of the world or map of interest, and we want to keep doing that by voicing our concern in a big events like going to the Elysee, or I don't know, going to general assemblies in the UN, and just we want to say we're still present. You should give us more voice for Sudanese people. You should listen more to the needs of the the Sudanese young people, I would say. Not only
Yeah.
Sudanese, African, but my focus always my country, but yeah, African in general.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Charity begins at home, right? So that's beautiful. Yeah. All right. Do you think that creatives in developed countries are at advantage to those in developing countries?
It's a tricky question. I remember I read it like a couple of.
Yeah. I wanted to say that that's a tricky question. Yeah.
There is advantages here and disadvantages here as well, and advantages there and advantages there, of course. I think being an artist in Africa, when I going back to my experience when I was an artist in Africa, I think I was more inspired by the daily life of, the struggle. The struggle in Africa is really immense, and the pain is really immense. I think it was really inspiring to get to be very minimalistic, to get closer to the grounds and the land, and the heat, and going to talk to women in the street or the tea sellers, or like, there's a lot of an inspirational story that you can have. Africa is so rich, very rich. Being there, an artist there, we always think of outreach, going to international scene, going to Paris, or New York, or London, whatever country, big country. So you can get the outreach. Yes, it's important to get the outreach, but it's also important that you you think local, and do your art and your work locally, and then if you continue doing this for years, you will reach the outreach by itself. Because let's face it, I would say this. I'm not. We're not gonna crop this, okay? The West is dribbling, and is it's there's a lot of lack of inspiration. That's why they go back to Africa to take from the richness of the culture and the roots and everything in Africa. So I think it's important that we realize, not developing countries and not developing countries, like I'm talking about Africa, we realize what we have, we amplify it in our countries, and when they come, they see we already built something and everything is constructed, maybe to for them to assist us in our outreach, not to be even colonized in our artistic means or even in our cultural means, So I believe this is the side that if you're an artist in Africa, in developing countries or in Africa, but living in outside give you a lot of opportunities to represent, to speak to big institutions and stuff. But it's still, I mean, you feel there's a lack of an inspiration. Yes, I honestly I'm saying the truth. Um, yeah, I would. That's, I think, if we give it a very snapshot of how I think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very deep perspective, so that we don't feel like victims of life. We don't just feel down and feel like, oh, we don't have the technologies, and we just dwell in self-pity, but rather we look at the positive side of life and see that, hey, we have a rich culture, rich background. Even like we said, turn our pain to our gain and then use it as an inspiration. It even makes the story more beautiful, right? So yeah, I really connect with you on that. I really agree with you on that. All right.
On
Next.
that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we understand balancing work time, rest time is a struggle for many creatives. Please share a few tips on how you try to balance work time, rest time, and family time.
I don't think I can. I mean, I'm trying as much as I can for sure. It's hard to balance. I think for now, I'm not gonna give you the perfect answer. I'm saying like I know the way. It's just that when I feel I'm a very hard worker. I like to work, and then I
Yeah.
feel my body shut down by itself. Okay, and when I reach that level, I shut down. I relax, and then I do the things to I do the healthy, and I'm doing the sports and stuff. So I try to rebalance, and then I go back to the same dynamic of being hard worker, hustler, going here and there, doing this and that, and then I get like 2 days of rest. So I did not find the right formula yet, and I know with the time that I can find it, and I
Mm.
trust the process with the time, and I think my message for everyone is struggling to find the time. Just don't be harsh on yourself. Just don't be harsh on yourself. Do the
Yeah.
things when your body and your mind and your soul have the capacity to do it. And once you feel like you need to rest, listen to your body, rest then. That's I would say. Yeah. And everything
Yeah.
can come.
Yeah, thank you. And I really like your vulnerability and authenticity. And you're not just trying to be like one perfect woman, superwoman, but you're really being realistic. It means that people like going through the same journey will be able to connect more because they say, oh, they know that, oh, I'm not alone in this journey. Like people are also trying to create a balance. Like you said, I'm also like a very great workaholic. Like sometimes I'll share with our previous interviewees, like my family will be like, hey, have you had breakfast? Hey, have you, because I work from home and it's easy to like just work on and on and on until you realize that you have to take a break. So I really connect with you so much on that. Thank you for being very honest with your answers. Okay, what does success mean to you?
Success.
Yeah.
Woo. It's hard. Sometimes a very small thing can make me feel successful. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, buying myself some meal that I wanted to buy that could be a successful successful day, I would say. Um, Making someone happy, making my mom proud of me, my dad proud of me. That's a successful, you know, and sharing this news with them, whatever I do. It's successful when I see the impact on people's life. Success when I don't know, I genuinely feel happy when people around me happy, and
Yeah.
saying yes, I keep saying this is a success itself. I think I get it from this way, but also in the
Wow.
professional sense, when I have a task that I have to fulfill, and then I do it perfectly, and I do it like properly, and then or bridging and work and stuff like that. That's a success. I can find success in every step. It's not an end goal after 5 years. I have to find the success. I'm not greedy about that. Yeah, I'm just being easy with it. Success means different forms in different. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like the way you broke it down, waking up every morning and just breaking it bit by bit, living one day at a time, achieving that fulfillment every day is success. And I think I connect with you in different ways because in terms of when people around me are happy, when I see my family happy, when I see my friends happy, when I do something that impacts someone's life and I see the joy on the person's face, that makes me happy and that's success to me. So really, I think if the world can just look at things this way without just our selfish reasons of buying cars and houses alone, that is going to the world will be a better place, really. Yeah. Thank you
Absolutely,
so much.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I'm not a
Yeah.
materialistic person at all. I like to enjoy meaningful
Yeah.
things and bring meaningful to people's life. So money, it's my least concern, or like buying stuff, or I don't know,
Yeah.
materials and stuff. It's not my favorite thing. So yeah,
Yeah.
so we
All
get
right.
connected, no? Yeah.
Yeah. Big time. I sincerely connect with you big time. And I really, really enjoyed every conversation and every answer you gave. Okay, please tell us something we do not know about Mayada. Just tell us something we may not know.
Wherever I go, I don't necessarily feel belonging. Okay. And it's
Mm.
hard to feel belonging directly. But what I do, I create houses in the peoples that I meet, like being warm with them.
Wow.
I feel their warmth, and then that's how I feel belonging, by creating houses in people's hearts. So that's why we can
Mm.
stay forever friends, and that's the
Uh,
way I can feel belonging to wherever I go.
yeah, that is so beautiful, so amazing. I think I wrote a poem about this a very long time ago about home is not just a place, but even people. So this is I'm blown
So
away.
true,
Like this is
girl.
awesome.
Are we
I
soulmates?
love
Are we soulmates? Did I build the house at your at your
yeah,
heart?
twin soul, my twin
True.
soul. Yeah,
You know
sincerely,
what's
I'm really
funny?
excited.
It's true. I recognize the city by the experience that I have encountered with people, and how deep those experiences were. Like, I love specific
Yeah.
cities. I love Berlin, going to Milano, or going to specific cities in
Yeah.
Nairobi or Jeddah. It's just because what I curated there with the people, the
Because of
memories, the
people, the
connection with
memories.
the city. So yeah, I totally
Yeah.
feel what you mean.
That's so awesome. Like
Deep.
I've always had these thoughts in my head, but this is the first time I'm seeing someone that is, we didn't even ask any question directly to this past, and you just brought it up. So this is the first time I'm seeing someone directly explaining everything that I've always had in my head. So you're a
Girl,
superstar.
girl, you. We're just because I'm speaking and you're asking me, but I think you're also an inspiring person. Yeah, I believe so. Pleasure to
Yeah,
meet you.
yeah. Right. I don't know. We could go on and on, but at least there has to be an end to everything. So this is the last but not the least question. And let's go a little poetic. Okay. If poetry is a rainbow and you have a choice of one color on that palette, what color would that be and why?
How about, okay? I know it's the interview about something should be written about this conversation, but how about you give me an answer, and then I get inspired from what you say, because you're already a poet. You're right already, so I think you have
Okay.
the
Okay. Do you
share
know
with
what?
me. What do you?
Do you know what? This question
Yeah.
is, let me break it down. This question is a very funny question. When I tell you the meaning of this question, you will just be like, oh my God, why all this plenty grammar? So the question is simply saying, what is your favorite color?
Lovely. I love it. You
Yeah.
make it look so. No, but you can share. You can talk to me because you're a poet. What could be the color for you, and why?
Okay. Okay. My favorite color is actually not on the rainbow. Right? My favorite color is not on
Oh,
the rainbow. Yeah. But
what
I
is
think
it?
I love blue. My favorite color is pink.
Pink. Oh, you're
Pink.
feminine. Cool.
Yeah. And but if I must choose on the rainbow, I love green, I love blue. I love green because of nature, because of diversity, because of like connecting to something that is real and from the earth. And then blue, I love the skies a lot. I'm fascinated by the skies. Like Whenever I'm in an airplane, I just marvel at the clouds, at the sky, and it's even opened my mind to
So,
boundlessness. And I just look up to the sky, and I feel like I can fly, and I feel very,
same,
very powerful
same.
and everything.
So funny. I
All right.
swear. I was thinking of the shades of blue. And you're talking about blue and in the skies. Girls, what's happening? What's happening? Tell me. I swear. I was thinking of, like I'm saying, blue. I really like blue
Wow.
and purple as well. But I was thinking in my head, blue, 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 because it gives me some calmness and peacefulness and the
Yeah.
clouds, and it says a lot. But I would stick to the blue and purple as well.
Okay, that's awesome. This is so beautiful. Like I'm blown away.